Good morning, my Teaserking family. Out walking. It's still nice and warm here. It's like in the 80s. It'll probably get cool in the middle of October. Um, Forgive my sweat. Let me get another shirt. Okay, sorry about that. So, strange weekend in football. 40-40 tie with Green Bay. Really? How the hell did that happen? So we'll walk through that in a minute. Let's first do our gold and silver. And we see gold at 38.26. It's just about 10 o'clock. I would think it's going to come down a little bit. Silver 46.78. I did see it at 47.10. We'll see 47 soon. Up another. See, every day it's up 50, 60, 70 cents. The question is why is this up 74 cents and this up $66? That's my question. That's what I'm trying to understand is why is silver cents and gold dollars? Because silver should be dollars too, just as active. Anyway, no, you don't sell, you don't profit take. This is just demand driving the price up, and the demand has not cooled, nor will it. All the BRICS countries, most of the world's buying gold. And it's not only central banks, but banks, pension funds, people. And it's a very simple, this is worthless, so let me get out of worthless things into something with a value. It's as simple as that. And that's where we're at with it. So why would you sell it? Because if you sell it, you get back into worthless dollars, which you don't want to do. Like I said, the only reason you're selling is if you need to, there's some expense that, going on a trip. You want to go to Vegas. Okay, so I need some of this to pay for the ticket because they're still dealing in this. Okay, and that's fine. That's all you do there. And that's the reason if you need to sell an ounce or something, you sell it. But otherwise, you don't want to sell it. As I say with the Titanic, you don't want to get back on the Titanic. You've got into the lifeboat. So call this your lifeboat, the gold and silver. So you don't want to get out of your lifeboat and back onto the ship because the ship's drowning. It's going down. Hey, David, good morning. Raiders got a field goal blocked, fixed. How did the Bears even score that much? As bad as the Raiders are, the Bears are terrible. Yeah, a lot of weird games yesterday. How did San Diego lose? 16 penalties. Yeah, that's a fixed game, right? And then I didn't see the Dallas Green Bay game. It ended 40-40 in overtime. Okay, CeeDee Lamb didn't play. How did Dallas score 40 when they got 10 on the Bears, right? This is the strange thing about trying to, predict the football games because you're looking at what happened thinking, okay, I can apply that to the next game. Meaning Green Bay lost to Cleveland and should never have lost this game. Dallas didn't have CeeDee Lamb, couldn't handle the Bears, and so why didn't they double team Pickens? I keep seeing Pickens catch. You're not double teaming Pickens, so now I question how bad the defensive coordinator is on Green Bay. He's obviously an idiot. Why didn't blitz Dak Prescott? You have Micah Parsons. I saw him do nothing. I'm shocked Green Bay gave up 40. They gave up 10 to the Lions. I mean, the whole thing is like each week is a different WWF script, and nothing makes sense. There's no way Dallas should have got 40. And okay, Green Bay getting 40 makes sense. The Giants got 40 on Dallas. So how does Dallas not cover against the Bears? And how does Dallas tie Green Bay? How Green Bay looks so inept they can't stop anybody when they shut down Detroit and Washington. I got to do a long, hard look. Now, the ones that came through, Kansas City and Houston and Detroit, Kansas City was not going to lose as a home dog, and Houston couldn't go 0-4, and then Detroit's rolling, so Detroit does get the win. Had Pitt, had Buffalo. Again, the only two losers were San Diego, which made no sense with Jackson Dart, and then the Green Bay game. I'm laying 1, which is like, really, we lost with Green Bay -1 in a 40-40 overtime tie. Okay, yeah, it's not fixed. Geno 3 interceptions. He's bad. Yeah, well, I never thought Geno was all that good. You need to run Gentry more. He had that big run, and you just can't afford the turnovers. I mean, that's the real problem with Geno is that you can't give up the turnovers. So anyway, so back to gold and silver. Silver 46.80. It'll be over. It was already over 47 this morning, creeping down a little. It's 10 a.m. now, and it is, gold sitting at 38.28. Gold, that's it. They got up to 38.30. It was down to 38.10, but it looks like it's going to hold in the 38s. The U.S. needs to buy it to pay off the options. When people ask for delivery, the U.S. has to deliver. That's Basel III. That's why we're all excited about Basel III. So they're buying. And the reason people buy on COMEX is cheaper. You can't find this 38.28 anywhere. If I go to the store, it's going to be 39.28, right? He's $100 premium. If they go to the mines, I guarantee you the miners are charging them a couple hundred more, probably 4,000. So that's why people go to COMEX, because it's cheaper if they can get delivery of the gold and silver, which they're out. I don't like when people think that there's gold and silver in COMEX. No, there isn't any. It's gone. That's why they're buying it, to try to put some in so they can still do their little price fixing game. Anyway, 38.29, it's going up, and 46.79 silver. So look for a big day, and off we go. Let's see what the Dow's doing. The Dow's down 34 at 46,212. Now let's do something here. So we're gonna check something out here on the stock market as soon as we can. Google. So we're looking at October stock market crashes. There was a crash in 1907. obviously 1929, Black Monday, 1987, and 2008 financial crisis all occurred in October. So I'm warning you, here we are, we're about to go into October. Why October? Because that's when the portfolio managers settle, like they want to say, you know what, I made 20% for the year. So the losing stocks they dump. So they just keep the winners so they can say, look at my portfolio. I'm plus 30%. And so they dump all their dogs in October because it's the start of the fourth quarter. They don't want to do it in December. So all these dogs happen. They clean their books and they say, look how good I am. And so here you have October. Here you have a well overvalued stock market, 46,000 in this massive inflation, massive, we're in a recession or a depression, whatever you want to call it. So you're just sitting there going, this is crazy. Why is the stock market overvalued and the housing market overvalued, but not gold and silver? Because the real value of the stock market is probably 20,000. It's a PE ratio, right? It should be about 3 or 4. It's probably 20, 25. So the prices are too high for the earnings of the company, like a Tesla, like Apple, Amazon, Nvidia. It's just where people go because people don't know what they're doing. So if they see a stock go up, they buy it for no other reason than it's going up, and I want to make money. And everybody's in, Apple. So I'm going to get an Apple because, well, they must know something. They're in it. I'm like, what are you, crazy? No. You don't get in it because other people are in it. You get in it for a solid reason. Good earnings. Competition. They came out with a new product. They've expanded to Russia, something. Well, that's not what's happening. So what you have is, that's how it's overvalued. The price, the PE ratio should be about 5 or 10 in these stocks, and it's 60 or 70. That's what's overvalued. That's a bubble. The bubble is it's not worth what you're saying it is. Stock market, the houses are way too expensive. And basically with houses, people can't afford them, so they're too high. So they need to come down. But in gold and silver, is the price over what it's really worth? No, because they've been lowering the price. COMEX has been lowering the price with these options, not because of demand, not because people can't afford the house or the stock's too expensive. They're lowering it on to keep the price down. So it's been keep the price down, keep the price down. So how can it be overvalued? How can there be a bubble in gold and silver? What causes the price to go up? Demand for an item. So if everybody wanted a house, then the price would go up. But in stocks, you can only buy it for what it's worth. It's worth $25, then it shouldn't be selling at 100. But in gold, it's worth, like I say, the gold price is up here and COMEX is down here. How is that a bubble? Why would you sell it? And then what would you sell it for? So if you're going to sell it, you don't want to get back into dollars unless you're going to use the dollars to pay off a bill or to buy a Rolex or something. But you're not really selling the gold and silver to buy gold and silver. But the last thing you want to do is get back on the Titanic and get back into this shit. This is worthless. So that's why nobody's profit taking gold. Nobody's selling their ounces or bars just to sell it to take profit. There is no profit taking here. This is, I'm getting out $1 and I'm in gold and silver and I'm watching it go up and up. Well, won't it come down? No, it's going to keep going up and up and up as you've seen it. Silver near 48, gold 3,800. Now, a couple of years ago when we first started this, it was probably 17, 1,800. And I made the bet, or I didn't make a bet. It was with Bobby and Luke. And I said, well, when it hits 3,000, we'll go to Capitol Grill. Well, it's ready to hit 4,000. I'm still waiting for the capital growth, by the way. Uh, but that's the point. You're still waiting. It's still going up. Oh, it'll never go past 2,000. Well, it'll never go past 3,000. It'll never go to 4,000. Silver will never break 50. Believe me, it's gonna break 50. And when it does, it's gonna just shoot to the moon. Because people think 50 is the all-time high. Well, gold's all-time high was 2000. Yeah, we went past that a while ago. Silver's, that's the paper 50, not the physical 50. And I talk in terms of physical. And I talk in terms of the frenzy that's about to happen because as Western Europe, Canada, the UK, all realize their dollar's worthless, and the US, they're going to run to gold. And there's not enough gold out there. So they're going to, you have to get out of your dollar or watch it go to zero. And the Germans, especially from 1923, understand that. So that's really the key there. So if you had gold back then, you made a fortune buying a house with 5 ounces of gold at $20 an ounce. It was $100 for a mansion that was probably 60, 70,000 in the 1920s. And they were able to buy it for $100. And that's the point. So gold is not overvalued. I don't think it's ever overvalued. I don't think you could, because it's only going to be based on demand. So as the Chinese and the Russians and the Indians want more gold, that pushes the price up. Well, that's not a bubble, and that's, you just keep going with it. The Chinese and the Indians are into their big wedding time in the fall, so they make a lot of jewelry. The difference is the jewelry in those are 24 karat, or I believe the Indians are 22 karat, but that's like a whole, that's like I tell you to buy the coins because it's an ounce of gold. And this is 18 karat, 3/4, so it's an ounce times 3/4. That's what this is worth. But if you get the jewelry, so if I bought this in India or China, this would be 24 karat, and this would be 1 ounce, and it would be 1 ounce, whatever the ounce of gold was selling for. And that's demand driving it, because the Indians and Chinese always buy a lot of gold around this time for weddings and birthdays and things like that. So there's huge demand coming, which pushes the price up because there's not enough supply out there. There's very little, especially silver, but gold. And as gold gets more expensive, everybody's going to run into silver. Now, where I argue with Egon is he says it's very, volatile. Well, again, this is paper volatile. When you get to physical gold and silver, it's not, silver will not be volatile when we get to a physical silver price. Right now, yeah, it went down, up and down 50 cents here and there this morning. But again, it's based on these options. But once we clear that and we get to a physical market, you're not going to see this. It's not going to go down like that. It can't. It's going to keep going up. As long as people understand that the gold price, that the dollar's worthless, as long as people understand the dollar's worthless and the only place is gold and silver, it's the only place to go. That's the other beauty of it. You can't go into Swiss francs or euros or British pounds. They're all worthless. The only other thing you can do is buy Rolexes, but you still have to sell it for money, or Mantle cards, Brady cards, even the paintings, the Van Gogh over here and the Picasso. You're not really going to, they're already so expensive that there's not a lot of value left, but gold and silver is the one thing that's been kept down. So the value's there, and I wouldn't worry about being confiscated because we're not on the gold standard, A. B, they're more likely to go after people with Bitcoin or these stable coins than they are to go after gold and silver when they don't think there's any gold and silver. They'll never come to your house. They'll go to the bank, but we don't keep our money in the bank. our gold and silver. So they have no idea who has it and where and what, and they're just not going to go after it, right? You're safe. Again, I guess the Germans did that, not the gold, but the silver in 1923. But that's, when you're on the gold and silver standard, they'll take it because it's value to the government. But here, it's no value to the government because we're not on the gold standard. So the government doesn't want to go on the gold standard, yet BRICS and everybody else wants to. So keep that in mind. It's your only play, and you don't sell it. Like I say, you sell an ounce. You have 100 ounces. You might sell 1 or 2 ounces to pay bills or go on a trip. Excuse me. But as far as the 100, you may be selling 2 or 3. You're not selling, 75 or 80 for profit taking, because then you're going to get into this or this, which isn't worth anything. So you don't want to get out of stable money, real money that has a value, for shit that doesn't. These don't have values, right? These are worthless. So the last thing you want is to take something of value, Mickey Mantle card, and get paper for it. You don't want to do that unless you would sell a Mantle card if you're going to get the paper and buy gold with it. Absolutely. So your really plan is to get into money that's got a value. And like I said, the $100, if you got $100 bill, you think it's worth 100. Problem is the value of the 100 is worthless, right? You go to the grocery store, you're filling your cart with 20 items and you're at $100. I mean, my pita bread's $3. My avocados are $2.20. The broccoli and the cauliflower are $3. I mean, what kind of bullshit's that? So I go just get my fruits and vegetables. I'm at $50, $60. I add some meat. I'm at 100. I know, it's insane. And that's the problem. But the 100 doesn't buy anything because the dollar's worth so little. They raise the prices to get their value. But that's the thing. It's not the prices going up. It's the dollar losing value. And that's the key to it. So once people understand that, nobody's going to profit take gold and silver. It's not what you do with gold and silver. You profit take stocks. You might, I don't know if you profit take houses. I mean, unless you buy 2 or 3 of them with the idea of, the second and third one, I'm going to turn over and make profit. But the first one you're going to live in. So you're not going to profit take a house. You might profit take, you could profit take a Rolex if you're going to go into gold and silver, or a Mantle card if you're going to go into gold. If you're going from something with value to something with value, you don't want to profit take a Mantle card and leave it in dollars and not do anything with it. Well, I got 200 grand in the bank. Yeah, that's not worth anything. So keep that in mind. That's not what you're doing. And the more you get in this, your paycheck, the more you move it into real money, which is, even if you can't afford the gold, you buy the silver. And that's just going to happen. People, here goes gold. It's almost 4,000. How many people have 4,000? And I warned you about this when it was 2,500. I says, you're not going to be able to afford it and or even find it. And when I went to my guy's store a week ago, he didn't have any gold. Now, I'm sure he'll get some in, but he didn't have any. I've never seen him with no gold. So that's a problem when people are not selling. So a lot of people would sell to him, and that's what I would buy. But he doesn't have anybody selling. They kind of figured out, hey, the dollar's worthless. The price keeps going up. Why sell it? He had people selling at 25, 2,600. It's record. It's at the record. I'm going to sell. And then it went to 3 and now 3,500. Now it's almost at 4,000. And I think people are going, yeah, I probably don't want to sell it at these prices. So I'll keep that in mind with that. All right, let's get to football. So let's look at yesterday. Well, let's quickly look at today. Miami 2.5, 45.5 over the Jets's. Miami's the Z team. The Jets the W. Fields will play against the Jets 18-2, but that doesn't work because you have a different coach and a different quarterback. Tagliabue, you do, but Miami's just, there's no big teaser trend on them. 31 defense, 32 defense in the game. Miami's a Z team. They don't score. The Jets are a W. I would assume the Jets will put pressure on Fields against Tagliabue. It'll all be Fields running around. Again, Miami's 3-point. How can Miami be favored over anybody? How can they be favored over anybody? I don't know. But can you take the Jets? After watching yesterday, I have no idea anymore. How the Giants beat San Diego and Dallas scored, it's crazy. And the night came. Denver 7.5, 44.5 to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's now a Z team without Joe Burrow. They're not scoring. Even with Joe Burrow, they didn't score. A 30 defense, 221 a game, and Browning against Denver, -7, an under team, 21 defense, 300 yards of offense, and Bo Nix, who's throwing a little bit of interceptions. So I did play this game. So the question is going to be, how can Cincinnati with Browning, compete? Good defense, Denver. They're good at home. Bo Nix is okay. Cincinnati, Hendrickson probably will get a few sacks. And that's where you're at. But we'll see. Again, they're all pros. That's the thing you must realize. But again, the way it's going, Denver 12-2 is a home favorite. Play against Cincinnati 17-3, and take Denver 19-2 their last 21. So they're good at home, and they're just good in a teaser. Denver. Let's go through the scores. Pitt 24-21. We did play Pitt as the dog. Again, you can't play Carson Wentz, just like you can't play Tagliabue and you can't play Browning. That's why we look at the quarterback. So Pitt as a dog wins 24-21. Houston 26-0. That was our free play. It was also a lock yesterday. My friend took it under. And I said, there's no way they're going 0-4 against Tennessee. And I about called the score roughly like 31-0, 28-0. Just the fact that Cam Ward's not going to score on this team. They are panicking, Houston. They have to. They're 0-3. So this was the perfect game for him. The spread, only 7, was a joke. The total of 39, I did like the under, but I liked Houston having to win. And this is where we come in with all of the reasons and going 0-3. We bet them 0-2. They had to win. They lost to Jacksonville, but they did cover. And now 0-3, and they must win, and they got an easy Tennessee. These are my favorite type of bets when you get a team like this that are down, that have to win, and they're playing a shit team. That's the bet. That's what we're looking for. Sometimes we can't find it, but we did find it here. Philadelphia 31-25 over Tampa. Tampa made a big comeback, I guess. Total was 43. They scored 56. Again, just when you think Philly's an under with a great defense, Tampa puts up 25. Hurts and Baker. So again, it's Tampa Bay's strong, even though Mike Evans didn't play. I guess Godwin did play, and the tackle played, but it really didn't matter. The defense, Philly had some ingenious plays with little flips to the tight end and stuff. The Giants 21, San Diego 18. How in the fuck did this happen? Well, 16 penalties on San Diego. Oh, so the game wasn't fixed, was it? We did have the time change, but I didn't think that would cause too much. Dart in his first game, I guess they got 6 sacks on him, but he ran that one up because Herbert threw the interception early, and then it gave the Giants some confidence, and then he threw another interception. So Herbert really played shitty against this Giant team. The Giant team has a 28 defense. I mean, I would have expected San Diego to get into the 20s at least. And the Giants again got the two interceptions, and they got 16 penalties. So that kills all your drives. Wonder how much the referees got paid off on that one. What are you going to do? The Giants stink. San Diego. Now, okay, it was a 1:00 game. San Diego traveling. Okay, well, we took that into consideration. We really bet the San Diego defense, and the fact Dart was his first start. I don't think Dart did anything. These guys I love, they come in and they try to run like, oh, that's it. Yeah, we've never seen a running quarterback before. Yeah, look how many Super Bowls Lamar's won. Oh, yeah. By the way, Lamar did hurt his hamstring apparently yesterday. We'll keep an eye on that. New England 42-13 over Carolina. Carolina stinks, we know, but so does New England. Both under teams. And again, I circled the under 49 in the game, and it was 55. So, but I didn't play it. How New England gets 42, I don't know. They're not that kind of an offense, but Carolina's so bad. Everybody, it's Steve Young. He's finally figured it out. No, he hasn't. Detroit 34-10. This is our other free play and another lock. And I felt good. I went 3-0 on my free plays for you guys. Detroit 34-10. Strong defense. Cleveland's very good defense. 44. The total in the game was 45. So I think we bet Cleveland under going forward. I think we got Houston under. San Diego's an under. I don't know what the Giants are, but we're starting to get form on the team. New Orleans, the Z team, gets 31-19 Buffalo. We win. We're laying 9. They win by 12. Buffalo takes it easy. Milano was out, and one other guy, Oliver, was out for Buffalo. And, they just go through the motions. I get up for Buffalo and Kansas City, and then I don't get up for New Orleans. And this is the problem, and they're big favorites. And notice how they don't cover. They win by 12, which is why we tease it. The spread was all the way down to 14.5. So, that was kind of a no-brainer. That was more or less betting against the Z team, New Orleans. Rattler stinks. Atlanta 34-27. Basically, you had the receiver out and you had Daniels out. And they still scored 27 with Mariota. I'm trying to figure out Atlanta. What are they? Washington. Do they have a good defense? Atlanta, so Atlanta's getting their feet. As he gets his receivers back, Penix, he'll get better. And Washington, you can't look at them without Daniels and McLaurin. I mean, they're just not the same team. That's why you got to key on the injuries. I didn't play it. Probably you go against Washington with Daniels out, but hopefully he'll be back next week. But I really get frozen on these games. I don't want to. I really don't want to go against Penix. I don't want to go against Dan. I'm not trusting Atlanta to win yet, right? And you would have had to. They were laying 2.5. So, but then without Daniels, I couldn't take Washington at 8.5. Jacksonville 26-21 over Frisco. It might have been meaningful before, but now Brock Purdy did play. McCaffrey did play. So the question is, how good is Jacksonville? How good's the Niners? The Niners aren't that good. So did Jacksonville. They didn't beat a Super Bowl Niner team. The Niners, they're not that strong. I have them as a under team right now. They gave up 26. So Jacksonville's moving along, so we take notice. They're not terrible like they were last year. Play against Jacksonville was 17-3. Now it goes to 17-4. And so as the trend starts going away, that's why we look at the trends. As it starts going away, we get off of that. So we don't look at the 17-3 trend, 17-4. We don't bet against Jacksonville now. We're confused to see if they're good, but this is a good win for them. The Rams 27-20 over Indy. I like the Rams. I don't know if I played it or not. I was going to play it. The Rams minus 3.5. Indy, a good team. The Rams scored late. Stafford hit. What was that guy? I can't think of his name. Not Pukanuka, the other, the little guy. 27-20. I knew Stafford would win the game. Again, the Rams were 8-1 as a home favorite, 19-3. Play against Indy, 18-2. And the Rams are 16-3 at home. So you like the Rams to win, and it was a close game. So Indy might be good. I don't know what the fuck Daniel Jones is doing. All of a sudden, he knows how to quarterback. And that's where you really get – you're really analyzing it because he sucks. And then all of a sudden he starts at Indy and he's good. And you really shake your head going, well, no, he's terrible. Sort of like Darnell last year. He's terrible, and then all of a sudden he's doing it. Let's check the box score on this one. I'm curious. Oh, Tutu Atwell. That's who it is. Daniel Jones, 24 out of 33, 262 yards, 1 touch, 2 interceptions. He's got interception problems. So 24 out of the 262, not a bad game. Stafford, 29 of 41, 375. That's the difference between a real quarterback and a bullshit quarterback. 3 touchdowns and no picks. That's why you bet the quarterback. That's why you bet Stafford over Jones. Taylor, 17 rushes, 76 yards. K. Williams for the Rams, 13 carries, 77 yards. And then Corum from Michigan, 9 for 21. Oh, he's not that good in the pros. Mitchell caught 3 passes for 96 yards. Warren, the running back, 5 for 70. That was about it. Pukanuka, 13 for 170, 1 touchdown. Tutu Atwell, 1 for 88. He only caught 1 pass, but it was a good one. 88 yards and a touch. Devontae Adams did play. Had a hamstring, but he did play. 4 for 56 and a touchdown. Higbee, Williams. So there you go. So Daniel Jones is doing something, but he still throws the picks. So against a good defense, I think he won't do well. Against a weaker team like a Tennessee, like against Houston, they're going to struggle. Against Tennessee, they'll do okay. The Bears, 25, Oakland, 24. I guess a bunch of picks by Geno Smith. This game was weird. It was like the Bears were 1-point favorites and Oakland was 1-point favorites, depending on which book you did. It ended where Oakland was a 1.5-point favorite. In a teaser, it was gold. Caleb against Smith. I don't know what Caleb did yesterday. Let's check out the Caleb stats. How many picks did he throw? Caleb, 22 of 37, 212 yards. Excuse me. 1 touch, 1 interception. And Geno Smith, 14 of 21, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. Well, he's terrible, Geno Smith. 14 of 21 for 117 yards. Caleb, 212 yards, and he got 1 touch, 1 interception. DeAndre Swift, 14 for 38 yards, so no running from the Bears. Gentry, 21 for 138 with a big 64-yard touchdown. Mozart from the Niners, 4 for 62. Receiving, Oduzzi, 4 for 69. Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, 4 for 38. Luther Burden, their number 1 draft pick, 2 for -4. I love that stupid wide receiver pass. Like, it never works. I don't understand it. Even if it does work, they gain 3 or 4 yards. It's the stupidest play. you should be able to do it, but the defense knows as soon as you put 2 or 3 wide receivers on that side, they know what's coming. You should fake off of it would be better. Oakland, Brock Bowers 5 for 46, Joel Myers 4 for 30, Gentry 2 for 17 with 2 touchdowns. So he had 1 touchdown running and 2 passing, and that's it. So Lamar still sucks. They win because they get three picks, and they got it. KC 37-20. I loved it. That should have been a lock, and I didn't lock it. I apologize. 37-20 KC. Again, Mahomes is a home dog. It's a no-brainer. Mahomes is a home dog. Lamar did get hurt in the game. I don't know how serious. He was sitting on the bench, but something where he tweaked his hamstring, running way too much. It's all he wants to do. He can't throw. He just wants to run, and we see how that works. And then Green Bay, Dallas, 40-40. I don't know what the hell that was. Let's take a look at that. Did Dak give us our 2 interceptions? So what a weird ending. With 50 seconds left, Dallas goes up 37-34. Dak Prescott passed to George Pickens to the left for a 28. Now, okay, can I understand how they're not double teaming George Pickens? Art of war, you take the strength away. This guy should have been double teamed and never available, and they didn't take him away with 50 seconds left. So Green Bay's up 34-30. We're all winning, and then they give up a touchdown with 50 seconds left, a 28 to George Pickens, who there's no CeeDee Lamb. Green Bay, with 4 seconds left, kicks a field goal to tie it. Now we go to overtime. Green Bay scores. Brandon Aubrey kicks a 22-yard field goal, and then Green Bay, with no time remaining, kicks a 34-yard field goal, and it's 40-40. What kind of fucked up game was this? Let's look at I'm just shocked. It's 13-0, and then a blocked PAT, and the guy goes all the way for 2 points. What the fuck was that? And then Dak Prescott, with 44 seconds left in the half, gets the 2 yards, 13-9. But then, with 13 seconds left in the half, they get another touchdown. What is Green Bay doing? Why are these coaches have their heads so far up there? Just take a knee. Just go into the locker room up 13-9, which should have been 14-7. Terrible coaching. You got 44 seconds left. They score. That's it. So I don't know if you threw an interception or what. And again, Dak Prescott passed to George Pickens down the middle for a 15-yard touchdown. Are we not understanding that there's no CeeDee Lamb and the only guy that can beat you is George Pickens, and you double team him? Is Green Bay this stupid? Oh my God. It was back and forth. What happened to the Green Bay defense that pounded the Lions? Jordan Love, 31 of 43, 337, 3 touchdowns. They're not running enough. Prescott, 31 of 40, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. Where's Green Bay's defense? Jacobs, 22 carries, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Earl Wilson, 8 of 44. Love, 3 for 20. What's he doing? Williams for Dallas, 20 for 85. That's all they got. Jacobs, 4 for 71 catching. Dobbs, 6 for 58. Golden, 5 for 58. Kraft, Dallas, Pickens, 8 catches, 134 yards, and 2,000. And there's no CeeDee Lamb, and you're not taking him away. Jesus Christ. Or he is double teamed and he's still catching the passes. Let's see. Defense. Micah Parsons, 1 tackle, 2 assists, 1 sack. 1 sack? Micah Parsons, really? Did he not play? Was he out most of it? My Georgia guy, Quay Walker, 6 6 solos, 5 assists, 11 total. But we only got 1 sack the whole game. Micah Parsons had 1 sack. What the fuck's going on? Dallas had 1 sack. So we've got moron coaches apparently at Green Bay who don't know to double team their best player when CeeDee Lamb's out. No pressure on Dak Prescott. Did we not watch the Bear game? Unbelievable. So Green Bay put a lot of pressure on Detroit. Where did it go? And then we get to Dallas, and there's no pressure at all. It's hard to understand these coaches. All right. In college, our free play was Baylor. It won. My locks went 4 for 4, 4 and 4. So I had 8 locks. I went 4 winners, 4 losers. College, I had Houston and Kansas. I don't know what happened to Kansas. And then I had Baylor and BYU under, which both won. And in the pros, Detroit and Houston was a lock. They both won. San Diego was a lock. How they lost is beyond me. And Green Bay was the other lock, and how they lost was beyond me. How they couldn't win the game. So as we go on, we avoid these bullshit calls. And we start figuring out the teams better because the teams change every year. So we'll be fine. Tampa's going to be a live dog. Buffalo. Carolina still sucks. Washington, Atlanta will be good with their quarterbacks. Cleveland looks like a great under team, great defense. Detroit actually scored on a punt return or something. Detroit looks strong again defensively. Houston, not going to. They're an under. Tennessee, we just bet against. San Diego. Really, you couldn't beat the Giants. 17 penalties. Is that because of the the time travel and the jet lag? Maybe. I mean, again, I try to be careful about the West Coast going to the East Coast, just like USC. Didn't want to bet against USC. Illinois was going to, come on after getting killed by Indiana. So it was like a stalemate, and I couldn't take USC at 9 a.m. This big noon crap is a joke. Yeah, let's make the betting really hard. We'll have these games at 5 a.m. All right. Jacksonville, we're not sure if they're for real or not. Still got to see. The Niners, they're in big trouble. Indy looks solid. Daniel Jones, mostly Taylor running, and decent defense. The Rams are excellent. The Bears in Oakland, like I said, the Bears were favored, so I took, I liked Oakland. I didn't play it, but how can the Bears be favored on the road? The Bears are still a weak team. Oakland, they need a quarterback badly. Geno Smith, when I heard he was the quarterback, I didn't like it. Baltimore's in big trouble. They're not that strong. The only team they beat was Cleveland. And now you're going, wow, how did they put 41 up on Cleveland with this defense? KC's coming around. Keep making them a home dog for us. Thank you. They just had a real hard schedule. Philadelphia, San Diego, Baltimore. Of course it's going to be hard. We took KC at the Giants, and they won. So it really isn't like the Giants are all that good. Green Bay and Dallas, what the fuck is with Green Bay? I think Dallas is an over team. They score, and they have no defense. Green Bay, I have no idea who their coach is. He's got his head way up his ass because he doesn't know what he's doing. how you let Pickens do what he did. He's the only guy they got. CD Lamb's out. Now, if CD Lamb was playing, I wouldn't have bet Green Bay even. I would have bet it over. Well, today the Jets and Miami, basically 2Z teams. And you can, again, how can Miami be favored, but the Jets are so bad? So I didn't play this game, but I would have probably taken the JETSs, but they're not a bargain either. I don't like their coach. Fields is playing. I don't know. Fields usually scores points, running, not throwing. In our last game, Cincinnati, Denver. Cincinnati's a Z team, no Burrow. Denver's a pretty good team. Played San Diego tough. And, we'll see what they do against Kansas City. What I like about KC, the way they control the game. Sorry about that. So KC, it's dink passes with my 4 or 5 yards, get a first down. Run a little Pacheco. Maybe hit Kelsey, although he's terrible right now. And then he dinks and he gets first downs. So Mahomes gets you first downs. Keeps the ball out of Lamar's hands or Josh Allen's hands because they're just driving down and they score. And then they get the lead on you, and then they pressure you with their defense. This is how KC wins, but nobody else can figure this out because nobody else has Mahomes. So it's a lot of dink and dunk. Baltimore wants to run Lamar. Well, that's not how you do it. Buffalo wants to run Josh Allen again. Mahomes doesn't run. He runs very little. Maybe once or twice a game. He scrambles around to get the plays going, but that's it. Hey, Cadillac, the price of gold is not derived from the price of the options. The price of the options are derived from the price of gold. That's why they are called derivatives. That's wrong. This price of gold at 3,800 is not derived from the physical price. It's strictly done by the options. It's like trading places. I showed you with Eddie Murphy. They came up with the price of orange juice. It went up to 142, and then they sold it and went down to 29. Well, what's the real price of orange juice? Was it 142 or 29? The price of gold is, we don't know what it is. It is not based on options. The options give you the price, but it's a fake price. It should be based on demand and the supply of gold and the demand from all the countries. And we don't know what that price is. This 3,800 is not the real price of gold. The real price of gold is 10 times more, and silver. It is not the options. The options are setting the price, not the other way around. The price isn't set and then they're doing it. No. The options are to keep the price down. That's what it is. They are setting the price, but it's a bullshit price. Hey, Ryan. Morning, Ryan. So this is an interesting one, Cadillac. I don't know where you get it from. The price of gold is not derived from the price of the options. Where are you getting it? How do you think they get the price of gold? Where does this 3,800 come from? They pull it out of the sky? I mean, that's what the option price is on COMEX. Why is COMEX pricing gold in the first place? It shouldn't be, but it's price fixing. The price of the options are derived from the price of gold. Well, that's not true. The price of the options are the price of the options, but they're not giving you the real price of the gold. This 3,800 is that's what they're doing with the option to give you a price, but it's not what the price of gold really. If you wanted a real price of gold, then do it like a Mantle card. It's on eBay, and there's an auction and there's supply and demand, and people are buying the Mantle card. Whatever they buy it for is what it's worth. That's not what you have in gold. Nobody has an ounce of gold saying, "What will you give it to me?" No. Where do they get the price? You go on eBay, where do they get the price of gold? From COMEX. It's strictly COMEX pricing the gold. It's the options that are pricing the gold, not the gold that's pricing the options. Hey, Titus. Good morning to you. How is Vegas, Titus? Did you, I didn't hear from you, so I don't think you hit the 10 teasers. Was there anybody in Vegas? I keep watching these videos. There's nobody there. So anyway, so Cadillac, I mean, so this 38.28 is the option, is the COMEX price of gold, not the real price of gold, not the physical price of gold. This is the paper price of gold based on options. That's what this is. This is nowhere near the real price of gold. Silver, 47.05. This is not the real price of silver. Again, this is the option price. COMEX is options. So 38.28, 47.05 is not the real price. It's the paper option price. So the real price of silver is just times 10, and the real price of gold is times 10. Because in the real world, the demand, here I'm selling an ounce of gold, and what do I get for it? You don't have a free market in gold and silver. The options are what is setting the price. That's why I'm saying buy, because this isn't anywhere near reality. So you're backwards, Cadillac. This is set by the option, is giving you the gold price, not the physical gold. I'm selling it to Ryan, and Ryan says, I'll buy it for this, like a Mantle card or a Brady card. That's real price. If COMEX is doing the Brady card, it would be $10, but that's not what it is. So I have heard some, I'm reading Ryan's, so I have heard some chatter over the weekend. There's a lot of fake gold on the market. How do you test yours? Well, I go to my guy's store. There's two ways to test it. You get a magnet out. Gold will not stick to a magnet. And so I've done this. I put a magnet up to this. It doesn't stick. This is real. If the magnet sticks, the gold's fake. The other way is you go to a store, and he's got this meter, and he puts it on the meter, and it tests how much gold is in it. And there's certain, I don't know exactly what he looks for, but he will test it and say, yep, this is real or this is fake. But mostly at the magnet. So if you're seeing fake gold, or somebody offers you fake, gold, you take out the magnet. And if the magnet sticks to it, it's bullshit. And run away, and that's it. But I always go to my guy's store where I know I can trust him. I know he's got legitimate gold and silver. I don't really worry about it. He's not going to sell me fake gold and silver. So the other is, who are you buying it from? So if you buy it from a reputable store, maybe SD Bullion or something, it's going to be real. But when you get it, put the magnet to it. That's the first test. And again, if it doesn't stick, it's probably 95% real, and then maybe take it to the meter. But it's, who are you buying it from? So if I'm selling you gold, you don't have to worry about it. If Joe Blow from China is selling you the gold, I would not be buying it. So I see a lot of fake silver on eBay. The guy's selling it for $25. But they're going for $55. Oh, he's from China. Oh, okay. So of course it's fake, coming from China, or they really need the money desperately and they're actually selling you real gold, but I wouldn't count on it. Why sell it for $25 when it's worth $47.08? So you're gonna get 50 easy for it. Why would you sell it for 25 if it's worth 47, 48? Same thing with gold, 38.29. Why would I sell you an ounce of gold for $3,000 when it's a no-brainer to get 38.29? I put out for 38.29, it's gone. So really don't understand it. But use the magnet, especially if you go for jewelry. If you go for jewelry and you go to just a Joe Blow jewelry store, I'd bring the magnet in, and if it sticks, I would leave the store real quickly. So again, you probably want to go to a reputable place, or when you're in the store, say, I would like it tested. I want to make sure I'm buying real gold. I've been burnt before. And then he'll put it on a machine, and maybe you take the magnet to it. But you have to trust the seller, basically, and then the magnet. Titus, the Packers lost it for me. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe they lost and they didn't cover fucking Pickens. CeeDee Lamb's out. Pickens, where is their defense? They crushed Detroit and Washington. They give up 40 points to Dak Prescott, no interceptions and 1 sack. They weren't putting pressure on him. Who's coaching Green Bay? Some morons? Ryan, that was a tough loss for sure. Yeah. Vegas is dry in the afternoon but comes alive at night. But who can afford all their high prices for food and liquor and all the hidden fees and the parking and all that shit? Well, you probably don't park because you're flying in, you're a guest. So you probably, I don't know, I heard Uber is very expensive there. And I guess you're on the bus on the strip, but I don't even know if my friend lives there. He says, I never go to the strip. Too fucking expensive. The food, they start charging you these hidden fees and everything. Oh, you're going to pay for an entertainment fee, and you got to pay for the chef, and you got to pay for the waitress. The fuck you talking about? And the Rams and 49ers under team. Yeah, the 49ers just don't have an offense. The Rams are a good team. They will play you under, but when they need it, Stafford threw the touchdowns. They're a little bit different. KC's been an under team, even though they have Mahomes, because they don't have any passing, and they ball control it. They ball control it and everything else. So hard to say. Again, I think we've got to play defensive coordinator here. So let's take a look ahead. Let's look at college next week. We're just going to look at the big games. Geez, we're in week 6 already. So it's a bunch of garbage. Thursday, Sam Houston, New Mexico State. Sam Houston's a terrible team. Good game, Western Kentucky, Delaware. Delaware's not too bad. They're one of these Division II powers that moved up to Division I. So they're a good team. West Virginia, BYU. Now, I locked BYU under, and I won it on Saturday. I got fucked by Kansas. Got the lead with like a minute left, and they couldn't hold it, which is surprising. They got a real good defense. And same thing with Green Bay. They had the lead late and couldn't hold it. They're not putting pressure on. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. So West Virginia, BYU. West Virginia is terrible. BYU, good defensive team. 19.5, 47.5 BYU here. I think you just go under with BYU, right? Army, Air Force and Navy. Iowa State, Cincinnati. All of a sudden, Cincinnati's got a good team. Beating my Kansas. There's a lot of things that aren't making sense that logically you go with. Kansas State goes to Baylor. Baylor explosive as hell. Kansas State's not very good this year. Kentucky and Georgia. Now, Georgia off the loss. Kirby stupid, not Kirby smart. How do you get down to the 10-yard line? You're down 3, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and not kick the field goal? Oh, we're sure we're going to make it. Really? You always kick the field goal, tie up Alabama 24 all, and then, maybe you get down there for another field goal or not, but you put pressure on Alabama at 24 all. So we'll see. Georgia's 20-point favorites over Kentucky and a 48.5. I don't know if Georgia's got a defense anymore. Kentucky's usually an under team. Illinois goes to Purdue. Illinois 8.5, 55.5. They played better. Purdue's not terrible. Now, Illinois has a big win over SC. Now travels to Purdue. So are they going to be let down? I mean, they got killed by Indiana, and then they beat USC. So they're going through a big range of emotions. Purdue, they're okay. They're not good, but they're not too bad. Let's see. Clemson goes to North Carolina. Clemson's terrible. Clemson's 1-3. They're 14, 45.5 to North Carolina. How do you bet Clemson? But how do you bet North Carolina? North Carolina's terrible. I think Belichick's girlfriend's coaching. The Army and UAB. Army's not that good. Their quarterback stinks. UAB's not very good either. Wisconsin goes to Michigan. Michigan 17-42. Wisconsin's real weak this year. Michigan is getting better, but the quarterback really is not any good. They're just running down your throat. They run it down their throat. Like against Nebraska, they had a 75-yard run and a 50-yard run and a 35-yard run. They had no offense. The quarterback, he can't really throw. He's not very good. He's a good runner, maybe, but that's about it. Wisconsin's just kind of weak. Let's see. Campbell plays North Carolina State. Should we take Campbell in that one? Western Michigan plays UMass, and Western's only a 12.5-point favorite. Let's see. Boise at Notre Dame. Notre Dame 1965. This should be an over game. Notre Dame's just putting up 50 points a game, and Boise should be able to score on them. This should be an over. Virginia, Louisville. Virginia beat Florida State. Well, I liked Virginia. I didn't have the balls to bet them against Florida State, especially on a Friday night. But here they go to Louisville. This should be a very good game. Syracuse, SMU. Syracuse quarterback's out. So if he's still out, like a long injury, then we might look at SMU here. Syracuse had a good quarterback, but he's injured, so we'll see. Vanderbilt, Alabama. Alabama 10, 56.5 to Vandy. Daggio. You got to love Daggio here. I'm not scared of Alabama with Daggio. They've been putting up 50 points a game. They beat them last year, and I don't buy this as revenge because Vanderbilt is killing everybody. They've got the quarterback, and they're playing better defense. I'm not. Alabama just had a Georgia game, so they're not going to blow out Vanderbilt, right? You're not going to get the turnovers from Daggio you got from other teams. Texas and Florida. The first time we could bet Texas since Ohio State. Texas 6.5, 43.5 at Florida. This has got to be an under game. Texas can't score. Arch Manning, what a joke that is. Let's see. Washington goes to Maryland after getting beat by Ohio State. This is a problem. Washington has got to go all the way West Coast, East Coast. This is such ridiculous. This game should be played in the middle, right? It's not fair for Washington to go to Maryland. It's not fair for Maryland to have to go to Washington. This game should be played at like the Kansas City or somewhere where it's a 2-hour flight for both teams, because this is just bullshit. Washington's 5.5, 52.5 off the loss to Ohio State. Look for Washington here. Penn State, UCLA. Penn State off of their loss. I didn't understand why they were a favorite over Oregon. I had Oregon. Uh, it was like, oh, I don't know if they're going to win, but I got Oregon at 9. It's going to win 99 out of 100. Kent State goes to Oklahoma. Why is Oklahoma playing Kent State? They've already played a high school team, and now this shit. What is that? Yeah, you're the number 5 team. Why? All right, you beat Auburn and you beat somebody else. I don't buy their number 5, and the quarterback's out. Michigan State goes to Nebraska. Nebraska 10.5, 53.5. I would say this is an under, but we'll see. Let's see. Texas Tech goes to Houston. Interesting game. Houston, a very strong defense. Texas Tech is Texas Tech. They just beat my Utah team pretty good. Texas Tech 11.5, 50.5. I don't know if you could go under here. Texas Tech just scores too much. I don't buy Texas Tech. See, this is where it gets confusing, right? Houston goes to Oregon State, who stinks, and they win 27-24 in overtime. Now they get Texas Tech at home, and you think, oh, they're going to get killed, and then they'll win the game, which makes you scratch your head. They couldn't beat Oregon State, who sucks, but they beat Texas Tech. This is where football becomes very, very strange, and you've got to look at where the game's at. That's the key. Where is this game at? The game is at Houston. Texas Tech, very good defense also. So this has got to be an under game. Kansas to UCF. Kansas, what the fuck happened to them? They're 4 points favorites, 55.5. I don't know. I got to really study UCF. I think, again, now we got Kansas off of a loss. But I noticed 3 or 4 injuries posted like Saturday morning to their defensive linemen, 3 defensive linemen, which I was hoping wouldn't cause a problem, but I couldn't see it until Saturday. It wasn't up there Thursday or Friday. I thought, oh, okay, great. So they go to UCF. They kill West Virginia. They lose to Cincinnati, which was a joke. And now here's UCF, which I don't know. We'll have to look at UCF. Prime goes to TCU. TCU 14.5, 58.5. This is probably an over. TCU just lights you up. In Colorado with Prime, they did put up 21 on BYU, so this should go over 58, I would think. Old Mississippi State and A&M, and Old Mississippi State's pretty good. They're not bad this year. A&M 14, 57.5. Mississippi State's not really an over team. They played Arizona State well, and then last week they played Tennessee well. So I think I don't know. And what happened to A&M's over? They got 20 points on Auburn. What the fuck was that? Minnesota goes to Ohio State. Ohio State, big under team, great defense. Minnesota, I think, has a good defense too. So this could be an under. Miami, Florida State, game of the day, 7:30. Miami at Florida State's 4.5 and 54.5. This is just screaming to take Florida State here. A home dog, Florida State, the team that just beat Alabama. Yes, they did lose to Virginia. Got it. I'm not sold on I'm not sold that Florida State is 18 in the country beating Alabama. This is going to be very hard for Miami to go to Florida State and win. Not going to happen. And we got a very live home dog in Florida State. And that's it. Duke at Cal. We don't care. Again, Duke's got to go all the way to the West Coast. What the fuck is this? We almost got to do a trend on that, right? Washington going to Maryland and BC going to Stanford and Cal. And take a look at that. It's crazy. All right. So that's college. I did update my stats. I got to update my sheet with the games. Let's look at the pros. So Malik Neighbors has MCL tear, is out, and they still lose to the Giants. Yeah, okay. All right, week 5. It's week 5 already. We got the Niners at the Rams. The Rams 3.5, 47. I hate these Thursday night games. I think you either take the Rams or you watch or you find an over under. I mean, it's hard to bet the Niners on 3 days rest, right? Again, the Rams are 3.5, not 3.5. We have another game from London, Minnesota, Cleveland. So Minnesota was in Ireland, are already there. Cleveland comes from Detroit. Minnesota 3.5, 36.5. This is definitely an under. Cleveland, great defense. Minnesota, great defense. Neither team's got a quarterback. 36.5. It's a low total, but I don't know. You're going to trust Cleveland in 9? Pittsburgh I could bet on because I had Aaron Rodgers. Here I got Joe Flacco, so no thanks. Houston goes to Baltimore. This should be an interesting game. Baltimore is 6.5, 43.5. I don't know. Well, Houston obviously has no offense. Great defense. Baltimore, great defense. Lamar probably will play. He was sitting on the bench, so he tweaked his hamstring. Probably nothing. 6.5, 43.5 Baltimore. Normally I'd be on Baltimore after losing 2 in a row. And Houston, okay. So they're starting to get, but this is not a good game for Houston. CJ Stroud's going to get buried in this game. But a lot of Baltimore injuries. They lost 4 or 5 guys yesterday. Miami goes to Carolina. What a shit game this is. Miami's 1.5, 45.5. Off a Monday night going to Carolina. Both quarterbacks stink. Both defenses stink. I don't know what you do with this game. Pass, probably. Denver goes to Philadelphia. Ooh, Philly only 4.5, 43.5. Probably an under here. Denver, strong defense. Philly, strong defense. This is where I want to see Bo Nix get the win, but he hasn't done this yet. So it's really difficult what you do with this game. You're scared to go against Philly, as you should be. And Bo Nix, maybe an under 43.5, but Philly's been scoring and the push tush and all that other bullshit. Not really sure. We'll need to rethink this, but Denver, depends what happens tonight, really needs the game. Dallas goes to the JETSs. Now, the Jets will win, and you're going, well, wait a minute, which Dallas team? The one that went to the Bears? Oh, so they can't win on the road? Oh, they tied Green Bay, and now they go to the JETSs. And again, I don't have CD Lamb, and again, what do I got here? And it's just, this is how bad the league is now. I have no clue on that. How do you lose by 20 to the Bears and then tie Green Bay? It's still football. Where does it matter where the game's at? And so I don't know. It's 1:00, a little travel for the Cowboys at the JETSs. I would never take the Jets, and I don't know if I can take Dallas. I don't know. Maybe an over with Fields, who seems to score a lot of points running the ball because you can't throw. The Giants go to New Orleans. Look at this pathetic shit. Miami and Carolina. Now we got the Giants and New Orleans. So you've got all the shit teams playing each other, and you got all the really good teams playing each other. Who makes these schedules? What do you do with this? The Giants are 1.5. Neighbors is out. Is the quarterback playing? All right, let me read what Titus is doing. I think the games that doesn't make sense is fixed. Yeah, I have that thing too. All right, let's go back up. Ron. Hey, Ron. Good morning. Sell silver for gold now. Well, I don't want to sell my silver either. Just sell your monopoly money for gold. But you're fine in silver. Silver is running. Titus, I think the games that doesn't make sense is fixed. I think there's a lot of fixed. Definitely the San Diego game was fixed yesterday. 16 penalties on San Diego. Really? Ron, the GSR is 81 now. 81 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold. Well, that's going to come way down. You can see, again, gold goes up $40, $50, and silver goes up 40, 50 cents. So you're going to have this, but it's just bullshit. Um, it's going to get down as people realize they need to buy it. Gold's going to be 5,000 an ounce. A, it's expensive, and B, can you find it? Silver will be out there. So that's what you're looking for is to, you'll be buying silver a lot at that. So I think the ratio goes to like 20 to 1 as people realize that the monopoly money can't be used and it's worthless. But silver's just going to keep moving. Titus, Professor, do you remember my big ticket from last year? I think it's about to repeat itself. I hope so, Titus. Miami going to crush Florida State. I see. I don't agree with, unless there's an injury to Florida State. It's hard. Look at Virginia beat Florida State at home. I just think Florida State is a home dog. It's going to be good. You get emotion at home. And I just think Florida State, now, granted, the quarterback is a running quarterback, didn't do a whole lot against Virginia. And Alabama apparently has never seen a running quarterback before. So I don't know about that. I'd be careful with that. Again, Florida State is a home dog. They're a good team. So we'll see. All right, let's see. Oakland goes to Indy. Indy's 6.5, 48. Is Indy real? We really don't know. Vegas stinks. Let's call it what it is. I mean, Geno Smith's terrible. I like Gentry. I like Brock Bowers. Their defense is kind of weak. We'll see. If Indy's for real, this is an Indy bet. If they're for real. I played the Rams good. They're 3-1. It's a little early now. Will they take care of it? Now, I don't see the Raiders winning this game just because of Geno Smith, but we'll see. Tampa Bay goes to Seattle. Seattle -3, 44.5. This is a live dog here. This is what we want. Tampa getting 9 from Seattle. We got to like that. Tennessee goes to Arizona. More crap. Arizona -9.5, 41. Did you trust Arizona to win by 4 here? Total, Tennessee's terrible. No offense at all. Do we go under? Maybe. What's Arizona? Are they a good defensive team? Maybe this is a good under bet. Washington goes to San Diego. Is Daniels playing? San Diego off the loss. So if Daniels plays, it's probably a live one, but San Diego blowing the game to the Giants, look for them to have, but that's what we thought with Green Bay, blowing the game to Cleveland and then screwing up here with Dallas, which I thought that game was fixed too. They get the extra point blocked and guy runs it all the way back for 2. And then they fumble just before half after giving up a touchdown. Instead of just taking a knee and going to the locker room with the lead, they fucked that up, and Green Bay's winning. What was that? This coach is terrible, Green Bay's. I don't buy that they're number one, over Philadelphia. No, not at all. Not that I love Philadelphia's coach, but better than that. So San Diego, Washington, we need McLaurin, and we need Daniels. If we even want to bet Washington, which I'm not sure they can handle this defense. Detroit goes to Cincy. Detroit 8.5, 49.5. Detroit should kill them again without Joe Burrow. Detroit's playing really strong. They don't have a problem playing on the road. New England goes to Buffalo. Buffalo 8.5, 30.5. That's a joke. Buffalo. I don't know why this spread's so low, but Buffalo is gonna beat them. Especially a division game, so Buffalo knows they have to win it. And their last game is KC, Jacksonville, KC 345.5. This is a joke. You got to jump on KC -3. Let's check injuries, but this will probably be the free play then. Jacksonville might be okay, but they're not going to beat Kansas City. And KC's still 2-2. They're not going to surprise Spagnuolo with the defense. Mahomes, as I said, he controls the game. He just nitpicks you for first downs, keeps the ball out of your hands. Trevor Lawrence, really, he's gonna eat up a Spagnuolo defense. So I'm not buying that at all. So that's a look at next week's. So I was reading where the car markets, they can't sell a car. There's like 2 million vehicles sitting on the lots. So what's happening? People don't have money. They have money for restaurants and food, but nobody's running to buy a car now. And nobody's running to buy the house. The houses are too expensive. It goes down to what's a market. I'm going to sell you a car, and this is what I'm going to pay for it. So you've got to sell it what I'm willing to pay for. This is the biggest mistake that businesses make. You cannot just raise. This is what Vegas is trying to do, right? I will pay $60 for a Tuesday at Caesars. Well, we'll charge you $60, but we're going to charge you, the resort fee and the parking and the food, and the drinks aren't free anymore, and the buffet's $100. We're going to charge you this. The market's down here. This is why Vegas is collapsing. This is why used cars are collapsing. They want to sell it up here, and I'm only going to go. And as people lose money because of this inflation, where this isn't worth shit, as the value of the money drops, people have less money because they're not smart enough to understand what's going on, and they're not smart enough to buy gold and silver. So as you're not smart enough to buy the gold and silver, you're holding on to this, which is losing value. And all of a sudden you go to the grocery store and you put 5 items in your cart and it's $50. And that's the problem. So that's where you're really getting hurt, is the $50. And then you have less money to buy a car or a house, or to go on a vacation, or to go to Vegas. You don't have that extra money because you need more money to pay the utilities and the food and going out to dinner and all that. So it's a very difficult thing. So people have less money to spend, but you want to charge more because you're getting the inflation. And the key is the market. What will we pay? Is it Oreos? Is it Coca-Cola? Is it, Lucky Charms? Is it broccoli and cauliflower? As this goes up, you reach a point, there's nobody home. Hey, we're down here. And as our value of the dollar loses, we go down here. And you better follow us or you're not making any sales. That's why you see a lot of sales at the grocery store, because the way the grocery store works is the vendor comes in and charges them. Oh, I brought you 100 cupcakes today, or apples or oranges, whatever. And the grocery store has to pay for it. And then the grocery store has to sell them. So they got to beat what they paid for it, but we're not buying. No. You can't raise the price. My dark chocolates are up to $4.89. I just laugh. I go, I'm not paying that. And they haven't had it. Like, they got to realize it's got to be 80 and above. So the last few times I went to my grocery store, they don't have any dark chocolates 80 and above in Giraldi's. I go to Walmart and they have this Swiss brand that's like $3.50. So I buy that when I'm at Walmart's. But, there's a limit. Hey, I'm not paying $10 for dark chocolate. Not going to happen. And so I don't know why they think they can just keep raising the price, which is what Vegas did. And we see what's happening there. Vegas is broke and going out of business because this is all you can charge, and you're charging all these hidden rates. I don't know about you, Titus, if you went to the strip and had a hamburger and got all these bullshit charges added. Hey, we got to pay for the chef and an entertainment fee and a venue fee and this fee. So the $29 hamburger, which should have had all those costs in it, comes out to $45, $50. Not very good. And therefore, what do you do with it? I'm not sure I'd pay for it. Hey, I agreed $29 for the hamburger. I don't know what these charges are. I didn't agree to them. I didn't agree to a strip charge and this charge and paying the waitress. I'll tip the waitress. Paying the chef, that's a $29. What are you charging me on the 29? And then you want to charge me 50 for a hamburger. Fuck off. I'm not paying that. And I don't know if we have to pay it. Nobody's asking the right question. I didn't agree to this. I agreed to the $29 for the hamburger, not all this bullshit. If they tried to do that to me at Culver's or Coney Island or barbecue, I'd tell them to fuck off. I'd say, no, I'm only going to pay for the food. And I certainly wouldn't tip if they're charging me the tip money. But that's just bullshit. So all the business is about finding this, right? You want to sell anything, I got to find what this is. Apples and oranges, this is the price. I can't be up here. Now, even though there's inflation and people think, well, they'll just raise prices and you'll have to pay for it, it's bullshit. No, I won't pay for it. I'll wait till it goes on sale and buy a bunch of it and go. I saw meat again. I was at my meat store yesterday, and it was $20 for, New York strips and sirloins and all that. I just walked by. Can I get anything? No, not interested. You're too expensive. I tell them you're over market. I know they don't know what it means, but let them look it up. And that's it. I'm not going to pay $20 for a steak. Just because the price goes up doesn't mean you have to pay it. So you go buy, chicken was on sale. I bought chicken. Salmon was still expensive. Salmon's been $15 to $20 for a while. So when it goes down to like 10, 11, I buy it. But it's hard to freeze because it doesn't last. So that's the problem. You almost start eating it that night or the next night. So you substitute chicken for the steaks or hamburger. The hamburger, for some reason, stays at $6. No matter what, where the steaks are going up to 20. So I don't get that. So that's what's happening to the grocery. And this grocery store is always more expensive. So I never buy a lot of stuff at this grocery store, just the meat. Because, you want $6 for blueberries? I go, fuck off. $6 for blueberry, really? No, when you get to $2.50, I'll be interested. Not at $6, especially now the season's over. They probably taste like shit anyway. This whole BRICS thing is just driving the gold price up. They all are getting into gold. They get it. They understand you want a gold-backed currency. The U.S. just doesn't get it. Are we a bunch of idiots here that don't understand the gold when in our Constitution you can only have gold and silver money? Yet we don't seem to get that. I honestly don't understand that. I really don't. That's what should be there is the gold and silver. So how we don't get it? See, this way we can go to war and print money, and we just keep printing because of the we want to spend it, right? So we want to go into a deficit. Let me check something. Okay. So again, what's happening is they want to go to war to get you out of thinking about the recession we're in. They think World War II, we were a manufacturing company, so we were selling the tanks and the guns and the planes and the boats. We were making them and the tanks. We were selling them to Russia and England, and well, not France. France was out of the war, but we were selling them. And so we made a lot of money. But that's unusual. Normally, you're building the military for yourself. We need weapons, and so there's no revenue coming in. But that's not what's happening here. They're trying to sell the weapons, but nobody has money. Europe's broke. Everybody's in the same situation. That's why gold's so popular. There's the like I show you the euro. It's broke. So they don't have money to buy your weapons. Not only that, it takes a year to make the weapons, which aren't even available. We've given all our weapons away to Ukraine already, who sold it to the Mexican cartels. So we've already done that. And now they have to make new weapons, which we don't have. And that's what's going to happen. So, sorry, Titus. You are completely right, Professor. That's how it is. Yeah. I've been watching these videos. Vegas has gotten out of control with the prices. Well, what's happened is, for some reason, they sold their hotel and land to Vanguard and BlackRock and Blackstone and all these. And they've been raising rent because they're losing money. So they're raising the rent. And so to get the rent, instead of lowering your prices to get more people in, they're raising the prices, thinking I need to pay rent. Well, why would you sell the hotel and the property to Vanguard? What are you, nuts? And so Vanguard just keeps raising rent because you don't own it. You're an idiot. Why would, it's like you own a house, right? Why would you, hey, Pat, how's Singapore, Pat? So if you have a house, why would you own the house? Why would you want to rent the house when you can own the house and the value goes up? Well, in Vegas, the values keep going up. Why would you want to pay rent on it? So it just makes no sense what Vegas is doing. Again, they're over. The market's still here. And as we get inflated and our value of our money goes down, we don't get raises. I love when they call wage inflation. Like you make more money. What the fuck are they talking about? There's no such thing as wage inflation. There's no such thing as price inflation. The only inflation is you're printing the money. You're printing this to death. That's the inflation. You overprinted and it's lost its value. Period. No wage inflation, no price inflation, no other inflation. I mean, it's something that you need to print. Well, how are you getting wage inflation? So because people aren't making more, but all the costs are going up, you have less money to pay for things because you're using it at the grocery store, going to the restaurant, or in Vegas's case there. Sell the house and buy metals. I agree, Pat. Silver will double soon. Silver just keeps going up $1 a day. Again, when will silver go up like gold does? Gold goes up $50 in a day. Why isn't silver going up $50 in a day? I'm waiting for that. I mean, that will be exciting when silver finally goes up $5, not 50 cents. So I don't understand silver. But again, as people realize that their money's worthless, so they get out of worthless money and they go into money that has value. So you're really looking for value, and gold and silver are the only value. They're the only lifeboats. There's no other lifeboat. You can't, like I said, euro or Swiss franc or British pound or any. None of them have value. They're all overprinted because none of them are backed by gold. This whole system's a joke. How it's lasted 50 years is beyond me. I mean, what I know now, in 1971, when they took us off the gold standard, I would have been buying gold by the carloads. At $35 an ounce, I'd be buying and buying and buying. And now it's gone up 100 times. But inflation is only 3%. What a bunch of idiots. The lid will blow off after 50. I agree. I think people psychologically, 50 is as high as it'll go. Why buy it? And when it hits 52, people will realize that the 50 was a Ponzi scheme and they should buy it. Massive queues in Singapore already. Bullion dealers are advising not to come in person, walk in. What is that, Pat? So bullion dealers are advising not to come in person. So don't walk in the store. Is that what you're saying? Don't come in person and walk in because there isn't any, or it's just too crowded. Best is to order online. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'd like to go into the store and see the gold and silver because I don't know if I got to do that. I'm not quite sure what I'm getting. If I go into the store, I know what I'm getting. So I don't know, but maybe it's a little different in Singapore where people, they know what they're getting. They know it's gold and everything. Hopefully you can trust the stores. People are waiting for hours. Well, there you go. Demand. This is gold and silver, I assume. So, yeah. That's it. The party's over. And Bricks is just buying the shit out of the gold and silver, which has got to make the price go up. That's why when Cadillac says about what he says about that the gold price is set and then the options, the gold is the real price, the options aren't, is backwards. Because this real price of gold is much, much higher than what it is, as you can see by the demand. The price should be skyrocketing, but it's not. Yeah, it's moving up nicely, but it moves up a little at a time. It should be moving up like hundreds. I mean, we should be at 4,000 by the end of the week. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. In China, silver is already 57 USD, I assume. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's why they go to COMEX because it's still 47.48. It's the cheapest place to buy it. That's why they go to COMEX, but they don't have any to deliver. See, the problem with COMEX is they don't deliver it. So you're buying it cheaper, but you can't get it. So it's a bullshit price that's not real. Pre-orders only now with waiting period of 30 days. Well, this is my point. Not only you can't find it, but it's going to be much more expensive. That's why I was saying to buy when the price is low, because we know where the price is heading. We know the demand's heading because the dollar's worthless. But as what's happening in Singapore and China, they realize the dollar's worthless. And so they realize the only out's gold and silver. So they've realized it, and therefore they are buying, and you can't find it. Like I said, my guy, I went into the store, and the first time he didn't have any gold. Where's your gold? He had no gold on his tray, he's always had something. He says, I can't get any because usually somebody sells to him, and that's what he puts out there. So if I were to take 3 ounces and sell it, the 3 ounces would be in his tray. He says, nobody's selling. I says, right, because it's too low and it's going up. But do not profit take this. This is not the time to profit take. And you should never profit take gold or silver. You sell it if you need the cash. Who knows what will happen? This is going out, right? This is worthless. But you still need it to conduct business. You got to pay your employees in something, and then they buy goods and services with the same thing you paid them. And what's left over, you buy gold and silver. So what are they going to come out with? And it ain't going to be stable coin. It's not backed by anything. Digital is not the answer. So people who think digital, I'll do digital, you're out of your mind. Digital is not the answer for what you want to do. Digital, I don't like it. I can't see it. What does a Bitcoin look like? You can't show me. What's a stable coin look like? You can't. Any digital, you can't show me. Sorry, money is not the same as digital stuff. Would you want a digital shirt? Can I wear it? No. Can I see it? No. Then why would I want a digital shirt or digital glasses or a digital phone? Go out of your fucking minds. One guy said to me, well, the internet's digital. I go, yeah, but I can see it. I'm using it, right? But I don't know what these look like, right? I can't tell you what a Bitcoin looks like, so I can't believe it's real. And I don't want it. Well, it's worth 110,000 or whatever it is. And I'm like, but it's not real. It's not backed by anything. It's not real. You guys are buying air for 110,000. Good luck. And the only people who are buying it are Mike Saylor and Trump, and they're buying it just because it's a Ponzi scheme. And then they'll dump it, and that'll be the end of it. Looks like silver will run out in October out of COMEX, or just you won't find it. I think in COMEX, the gold and silver are already gone. What they have in there is probably belongs to an ETF or something else. And stay away from the ETFs. People who buy ETFs. There's a guy I'm talking to, and he goes to me, "Well, I'm in ETFs. I don't want the carrying cost and the insurance of buying physical gold." And I go, "Oh, what an idiot. You've got to get physical, because in the ETFs, you won't have physical. The ETFs are you don't have any gold. None of it is yours. There's 1 ounce that goes to 10,000 people, and none of them will get the gold. And then when the paper runs out and it goes to zero, again, you won't find it anywhere." Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen to the price? Because I want silver, because I don't want to be in this. So I want silver. And if I want silver, I'm going to have to pay a lot more for it. And that's when COMEX blows up. And that's what I'm saying. It's not COMEX. The price is not made, and then COMEX does options off of it. COMEX is setting the price, and very badly, for gold and silver. But as they run out, people will just say, "Fuck you, COMEX," because they think they can get it on COMEX, but they can't. So COMEX will go to zero. It'll go out, and then we're going to use the Chinese and Russian and Dubai, Hong Kong, Singapore pricing will be physical gold and silver. And then we'll get a real price of gold and silver, because as demand is huge and the supply is out, well, price has to go up. We'll be seeing $100, $200 silver. I say 1,000. People look at me like I'm nuts, and I'm going, that's conservative. Because as we get to this point where the massive frenzy starts taking place, oh my God, I need silver, and there isn't any, like the Titanic, everybody's going for the lifeboat, and you get that frenzy. And that's what's going to happen in silver. They're going to want it because gold's going to be too expensive, if you can even find that. So you go for silver, you can't find it, and the frenzy is going to happen. I'll pay 100 for it. I'll pay 2. I'll pay all the way up to 1,000 and probably to 2,000. And again, those are conservative estimates. And I'm not using, I hate when guys go, well, there's so many dollars and there's so many ounces, and this is how I came up with that figure. What a bunch of idiots. It's priced by the market. And when these guys don't understand that, what are you supposed to do with it? China is setting the price now, as they should. And if I'm China, I want to set the price because I got all the gold and silver. So we'll see 57 soon, which will be good. And even that's not a real price. Wait till the market takes it, and it'll be 100 like that, and then it'll be 500. I mean, it'll be 500 minimal by the end of the year, I think, if they've run out, as you said, because the more people that realize you need gold and silver because your monopoly money's worthless, once you realize that, then that's what'll happen. All right, well, I'm going to call it. I got a noon call, unfortunately. Hey, Alex, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend with football. I did lock Houston yesterday. That was our free pick. I actually locked both Houstons. I can't believe Houston barely beat Oregon State, but I knew Houston was going to kill Tennessee. So that was the free pick and the lock. Houston and Detroit were both actually locks and free picks. You're welcome, Pat. Good to talk to you. Come back. I'll try to come back later or tomorrow. Hit a 4-teamer yesterday. Good for you, Alex. Titus, did you get my email? No, I never did. I was looking for it. The one a few weeks ago? No, I never got it. Why don't you resend it? KC was your lock. Yeah, I had KC too. Mahomes is a home dog, but Houston was my lock in Detroit. Detroit's playing too well, and Houston couldn't go 0-4. Anyway, send it again. I never received it. Oh, from this morning? I don't think I saw it this morning either. Oh, I just see it now. Yeah, you sent 11:51. Let me look at it. I'll respond to you. Anyway, yeah, I just see it now. All right. Anyway, I got to go. I got a 12 o'clock. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have a longer session. You're welcome, Titus. Love Florida and the under in that game this Saturday. Well, Florida's so bad, but LSU, yeah, they're a low-scoring team. I don't know what happened to their offense. All right, Pat. Well, thanks for the updates. And, yeah, buy your silver, everybody. But I'm looking forward to $100 silver finally. Florida versus Texas. Yeah, that's a good under. Arch Manning, he's terrible. All right, I got to get going. I'll be on tomorrow. Maybe I'll come back in the afternoon. We got to see, but I usually go swimming, and I got to eat. So if I don't come back to this afternoon, I'll be on tomorrow around this time. All right, have a nice day, everybody. Buy your gold and silver. As Pat's saying, they're running out, which can only mean high demand, low supply. Price goes to the moon. COMEX is controlling it a little, but I think they're losing control. And if China's setting it, it's going to be much higher. So just buy. And you're not profit taking. Do not profit take your gold and silver. If you need to pay a bill, go on a vacation, sell an ounce or two. But the majority of it, you don't sell because you have to get back into this shit. Now, you guys in China and Singapore, you can have gold-backed currency. Then you could sell some for the gold-backed currency would make sense. But I'd still rather hold the physical. But at least you have currency. I can't buy. I don't want this, so I don't want to sell my gold for that. So keep that in mind. All right, everybody. I will talk to you tomorrow, and have a good day. And www.teaserking.com. You can get my email there, as Titus and Alex and everybody else has done. All right. Have a good day, everybody.